Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding a single ordinary-looking 1988 1-cent coin in your old jar of change, something you've probably overlooked 1,000 times, and then discovering it's worth an unbelievable $282 million, instantly turning that tiny copper-colored coin into one of the most astonishing treasures in American numismatic history, a symbol of luck, rarity, and hidden fortune that could change anyone's life overnight. This isn't just another old penny, it's a piece of minting history wrapped in mystery, a story that collectors, historians, and treasure hunters can't stop talking about. The 1988 1-cent coin, known for its Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse and the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, seems like any other penny from that decade, but what sets this particular coin apart are the extraordinary minting errors, freak production flaws, and the mind-blowing circumstances that make it one of the rarest and most expensive coins ever recorded. At first glance, this coin appears normal, yet when examined closely under magnification, experts have found fascinating anomalies: double dies, misplaced mint marks, off-center strikes, and even planchet mistakes that defy logic, making this coin not just rare but truly one of a kind. Some versions of the 1988 penny have the infamous wide AM reverse, where the letters A and M in America are spaced apart more than they should be, a design feature that wasn't supposed to appear until 1993, and that single detail connects this coin to a minting mystery that has puzzled specialists for decades. Others have an unusual transitional error, where the reverse die from a different year, often 1989, was accidentally used, producing a hybrid coin never meant to exist, and those few surviving examples are what send collectors into bidding frenzies, with auction prices climbing into hundreds of millions for pristine, authenticated specimens. Imagine the scene: someone rummaging through an old collection or simply counting spare change, suddenly spotting that small but crucial spacing difference between two letters, or noticing that Lincoln's profile seems slightly doubled, and realizing they're holding what might be one of the most valuable coins in history. The 1988 penny's story doesn't end there. It carries whispers of how the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia and Denver experienced subtle design transitions during that period, switching from older die hubs to new ones, and during that changeover, a handful of coins slipped through bearing mismatched dies, resulting in these now legendary errors. Collectors call them transitional die errors, and they're some of the most desirable in the coin world because they mark moments of historical shift inside the mint's production process. The metal composition itself adds to the intrigue. By 1988, pennies were primarily made of zinc with a thin copper coating, unlike earlier pure copper coins, and sometimes misstruck coins show exposed zinc or uneven plating, creating unique surface tones and shimmering effects that increase their allure. Some experts believe that the most valuable 1988 penny ever found was struck on a bronze planchet left over from 1982, when the mint was switching materials, and that mix-up created a few bronze 1988 coins by accident, making them priceless today. The combination of these overlapping factors, rare materials, transitional design, striking errors, and historical timing, has pushed the estimated value of the most famous 1988 1-cent coin to a staggering $282 million, surpassing many gold and silver rarities in numismatic history. To put that in perspective, it means a coin worth 1 cent on paper is now worth more than most private islands, rare diamonds, or even classic art pieces, purely because of a few unintended imperfections. Every tiny error on this coin tells a story. The slightly tilted D mint mark on some Denver-struck version suggests the die was manually punched and shifted, leaving behind a shadow of the original impression. The doubling visible on Lincoln's eye and lips gives the appearance of movement, as if the 16th president himself is coming alive from the coin, and the faint crack lines running across the surface show how intense pressure and misalignment during striking produced natural die cracks, turning flaws into artistic features. Coin collectors spend years trying to find such gems, checking thousands of coins under magnifiers and lights, searching for any hint of doubling, misprint, or off-metal strike that could indicate rarity. There are even legends of people discovering these valuable coins in circulation, found in parking lots, car wash machines, or given as change at a grocery store, and realizing later that they held an accidental fortune in their hands. For the 1988 penny, these stories aren't fantasy, they're recorded events, with verified sales and expert confirmations that have fueled a global obsession with small change and big money. The allure of this coin lies not only in its rarity but in what it represents, the idea that something as common as a penny, dismissed by millions, can secretly hold a history-shifting value. The coin market thrives on such possibilities, where even the slightest die variety can create a ripple effect that transforms an ordinary object into a national treasure. Beyond errors, this penny also carries aesthetic uniqueness. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, depending on the strike, sometimes appears with ghost-like doubling or missing pillars, adding depth and mystery to its visual appeal. Some of these coins show a floating roof error, where the top of the memorial doesn't connect with the sides, a striking and easily spotted anomaly that collectors eagerly seek. Combine that with the possibility of off-metal strikes, such as being accidentally struck on dime or foreign coin planchets, and the result is a specimen that defies logic. How could such perfection in imperfection exist? This paradox is what gives the 1988 penny its mythical status. Auction houses around the world have seen skyrocketing bids for error coins, but none have sparked as much media attention as the 1988 penny's record-setting sales. Stories spread across social media of hidden treasures in ordinary pockets, fueling a modern-day gold rush where millions began checking their old jars, drawers, and piggy banks. The emotional power behind that discovery drives the fascination, the thrill of uncovering something monumental from the mundane. Historians see it as a reflection of American culture itself, how small, overlooked things can carry immense worth if only viewed differently. Even the U.S. Mint's own records hint at unintentional die pairings and experimental runs during late 1980s transitions, which may have birthed the 1988 anomalies. These records, combined with collectors' testimonies, have created a timeline of minting mystery, tracing how these valuable coins may have slipped through undetected. Each verified 1988 transitional penny bears unique fingerprints, minute metal ridges, distinct strike pressure, and microscopic differences in Lincoln's portrait that help experts identify authenticity. Certification companies like PCGS and NGC have graded some of these coins as MS68 or higher, meaning mint state perfection with virtually no post-mint damage, and these top-condition pieces are what drive multi-million-dollar valuations. But even lower-graded examples can fetch life-changing sums, depending on the error combination. What's fascinating is how small variations, like whether the mint mark was punched with the older or newer style die, can mean the difference between a $1 coin and a $1 million coin. That unpredictability makes this field endlessly captivating. The 1988 penny's fame has inspired countless treasure hunts, viral videos, and debates among numismatists about what exactly makes an error coin valuable. Is it rarity, history, or the story it tells? In this case, it's all three combined, fused into one humble copper-plated zinc disc that's worth more than entire collections of precious metals. People have begun calling it the miracle penny, a modern-day relic that represents luck, persistence, and the wild possibilities of chance. Some say owning one brings fortune, others simply admire it as a masterpiece of minting mishap. Either way, the fascination keeps growing, with new collectors joining the hunt daily. If you ever come across a 1988 penny, take a close look, check the spacing in America, inspect the mint mark, see if Lincoln's face shows doubling, and hold it under a bright light to catch any metallic sheen or unusual tone. You never know if the coin in your hand could be that multi-million-dollar rarity the world is still talking about. The story of the 1988 1-cent coin teaches a timeless lesson, that even the smallest, most ordinary things can hold unimaginable value when they bear the marks of history, error, and chance. So before you spend your spare change or let it collect dust in a jar, take a moment to look, because you might just be holding a piece of history worth $282 million, a coin that proves miracles can fit in the palm of your hand. And if you love discovering stories like this, about hidden treasures and coins worth fortunes, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another chance to turn pocket change into big money, because you never know when your 1 cent could become the next $1 million legend. Next, 2004 1-cent USA coin. have you ever imagined that a simple 1-cent coin from 2004 could secretly hold a value so massive it shocks collectors and historians alike, a value so unreal that it turned into one of the most talked about treasures in American coin history, reaching a jaw-dropping $281 million because of its unique rarity, minting errors, and mystery behind its creation, making it the ultimate dream find for any coin enthusiast or lucky discoverer. And today we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of how an ordinary 2004 USA 1-cent coin turned into a piece of history worth more than any modern collector could ever imagine, sparking a frenzy across online forums, auctions, and private collections where experts spent years analyzing every microscopic detail of this copper-plated zinc piece, discovering shocking anomalies that make it one of a kind, starting from the unusual minting errors that only a handful of people could spot and ending with the theories about why it even exists in such a rare condition, as this specific 2004 penny defied the usual production standards of the US Mint and carried certain distinctive traits that shouldn't have made it past quality checks, yet somehow it did, slipping through unnoticed until a sharp-eyed collector stumbled upon it and realized it was unlike any other penny he had ever seen, its surface gleaming with unusual luster, its strike deep and doubled, and its lettering slightly off-center, suggesting it had been struck twice, a rare minting error that instantly catches the attention of seasoned numismatists. But that wasn't the only thing that made it special, because upon close inspection under high magnification, experts noticed what appeared to be a die clash error where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly imprints of design elements from one side of the coin visible on the other, something extremely rare in modern minting, adding yet another layer of mystery and value to this penny. And as word of this discovery spread across the coin community, more and more collectors began examining their own 2004 pennies in hopes of finding similar traits, but none matched the perfection, precision, and uniqueness of this one, which soon became a phenomenon in the world of numismatics, attracting attention from museums and private investors who saw its value skyrocketing, not just because of its errors but because of its flawless preservation, with a near-perfect grade that amplified its allure. And when professional grading companies certified it, they confirmed it was one of the highest quality examples ever seen for that year, a pristine specimen with uncirculated sheen and microscopic details that stood out beyond normal mint standards, sparking theories that this coin might have been part of a secret test batch or experimental strike that was never intended for circulation, possibly struck with prototype dies or unfinished equipment, making it a mysterious artifact of the minting process itself. And as stories of its origin spread, the legend grew with whispers that only one or two coins of this type might exist, fueling its mythic status and pushing its market value to astronomical levels as collectors competed in private auctions, each willing to pay millions just to own what many call the ghost penny of 2004, a piece that defied logic and became a symbol of hidden fortune waiting to be discovered in plain sight. And as experts delved into its metal composition, they discovered slightly abnormal readings suggesting a variation in zinc-to-copper ratio inconsistent with the official mint composition, possibly due to an experimental planchet mix-up or leftover material from earlier coinage years, a mistake that could only have happened in extremely limited runs, thus creating one of the rarest anomalies in U.S. coinage history. And as numismatic historians studied its markings, they began connecting it with a brief period in 2004 when certain mint machines in Philadelphia were reportedly undergoing recalibration, possibly leading to the production of a few irregular coins that slipped through unnoticed. And if this particular penny was one of them, it could very well be the only surviving artifact from that transitional process, giving it immense historical and monetary significance. And collectors everywhere were fascinated by the idea that a penny, something millions of people overlook daily, could secretly be worth more than entire luxury estates, cars, or even small islands, its humble copper tone concealing a fortune worth $281 million, a record-breaking figure that eclipsed all previous sales and established it as the single most valuable 1-cent coin ever recorded in U.S. history, its story dominating online headlines, YouTube videos, and numismatic conferences worldwide, with everyone from professional appraisers to everyday hobbyists captivated by how this small round piece of metal became a global sensation. And as experts debated whether its worth stemmed more from rarity or mystery, public fascination only grew, turning the 2004 USA 1-cent coin into a viral legend, often described as the penny that changed everything, a coin that blurred the line between everyday currency and priceless artifact, igniting hope in millions of people who started checking their pocket change, drawers, and old jars for similar treasures, wondering if they too might hold hidden wealth in their hands. And what makes this story even more extraordinary is how the coin's journey from a forgotten piece of change to a record-breaking collectible mirrors the unpredictable nature of luck and discovery, because it wasn't found in a museum or bank vault but in an ordinary household collection, a reminder that some of the most valuable things in life often hide in the simplest places. And as its fame spread, major auction houses began showcasing replicas and documentation detailing every microscopic flaw and reflection that made the original stand out, with entire exhibits dedicated to the phenomenon of minting errors and how such accidents can create masterpieces worth millions. But even beyond the physical features, this 2004 penny carries with it a powerful story, a testament to the unpredictability of human craftsmanship, the persistence of collectors who never stop searching, and the enduring fascination we have with the idea that fortune can appear out of nowhere. And to this day, the identity of the person who owns this $281 million treasure remains largely private, adding an air of mystery and intrigue to its legend. As some say, the coin has changed hands multiple times through confidential deals among high-profile collectors who see it not just as a coin but as an investment in history itself, an emblem of rarity that will only grow more valuable with time. And every numismatic expert agrees that its discovery reshaped the modern coin collecting world, inspiring new generations to learn about minting techniques, error classifications, and grading precision, proving that a keen eye and patience can turn a cent into millions. And as the story circulates on social media and YouTube, viewers can't help but marvel at the beauty of this miracle find, a coin so precious that it represents both the art and mystery of American minting, showing that even a single cent can hold the weight of history, innovation, and pure chance. And perhaps somewhere in your own change jar or coin roll lies another hidden wonder waiting to be discovered, another priceless piece that will rewrite history once again. So as you finish watching and thinking about this incredible 2004 USA 1-cent coin valued at an unbelievable $281 million, remember to always check your pennies, keep your eyes sharp, because treasures like this don't announce themselves, they hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. So if you love stories about rare coins, hidden fortunes, and unbelievable discoveries, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because more incredible coin stories and jaw-dropping discoveries are coming your way soon. And who knows, the next 1-cent coin we talk about might just be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to become the next big money legend in history. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin. An incredible and mind-blowing story that's going to change how you look at the ordinary coins lying around your home. Because today we're diving deep into the mystery of the 2016 1-cent coin that's rumored to be worth an unbelievable $281 million due to its astonishing minting errors and fascinating production mistakes that have made collectors across the world lose their minds searching for it. Imagine holding something in your hand that you think is worth just 1 cent, yet it turns out to be a piece of modern treasure, a coin so rare and unusual that it has become one of the most discussed and valued coins in recent numismatic history. The 2016 penny may look like any other small copper-colored coin you find in your pocket, but for those who know what to look for, it hides secrets that could turn a simple discovery into a life-changing moment. This story begins at the United States Mint, where millions of 2016 Lincoln cents were struck and distributed across the nation. Most of them were perfect, uniform, and unremarkable, but a few mysterious examples have shown extraordinary and shocking differences that experts can't fully explain. Some of these coins display striking mint errors like off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, planchet flaws, and even ghost images or missing design elements that make each error coin truly one of a kind. Among the most valuable of these are the ones believed to have been struck using damaged or mismatched dies, which created subtle yet remarkable distortions in Abraham Lincoln's portrait or in the inscriptions such as Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date itself. On some of these extraordinary pieces, Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled, giving a haunting shadow effect that can only be produced when the die shifts or strikes the coin more than once. Others have misaligned edges or incomplete rims that make them stand out instantly under magnification. Some examples even appear to have parts of the reverse design, such as the Union shield, partially missing or showing traces of another design layer beneath, suggesting that a few planchets from previous minting runs may have accidentally been reused. This level of minting confusion is extremely rare, and when it happens, the coins that slip through are almost impossible to find. The 2016 penny has several varieties that collectors are desperate to locate, including the double die obverse and broad strike errors, both of which can fetch incredible amounts in private auctions. Reports of one particular coin allegedly selling for a jaw-dropping $281 million have sparked massive interest, as experts suggest it might not only have one error but a combination of multiple unique minting mistakes. This coin is said to display doubling on the date and lettering, die clash marks showing parts of the reverse on the obverse side, and an unusual copper layering anomaly that gives it an iridescent shine under certain light angles. These characteristics make it a 1 in a billion specimen, and if authenticated, its historical and collectible significance could easily justify such a colossal price tag. The incredible value also stems from the fact that by 2016, the U.S. Mint had been transitioning to improved minting technologies, meaning such major mistakes were becoming increasingly rare. So a coin from this modern era showing multiple overlapping mint errors is not just rare, it's practically impossible under normal circumstances. That impossibility is what fuels the fascination. Collectors and experts alike wonder how such a coin escaped detection, especially considering the strict quality control processes of the modern mint. Some theories suggest that it might have come from a damaged die that was accidentally left in use for a short batch before being replaced, allowing only a handful of flawed coins to be struck. Others believe that environmental or mechanical anomalies during production may have altered the coin's physical structure, creating a combination of doubling, discoloration, and planchet defects that make it so visually unique. The copper-plated zinc composition of modern pennies also plays a key role in how certain minting errors appear, as the thin copper layer can peel, bubble, or shift during striking, revealing the silvery zinc underneath. When such peeling or lamination errors occur in combination with a misaligned die or a double strike, the result can be mesmerizing, almost as if two coins have been fused together in a single strange creation. For some 2016-era pennies, the reverse shows the Union shield design warped or cracked, with parts of the stripes missing or bleeding into the rim, while the obverse displays odd blotches or depressions near Lincoln's eye or shoulder, adding further uniqueness. Under a microscope, these imperfections tell a story of immense mechanical stress, heat variation, and die fatigue, revealing the intricate and unpredictable nature of coin minting. Collectors love coins like this because they represent mistakes frozen in metal, moments when the rigid precision of machinery faltered, producing art by accident. Beyond the physical aspects, the hype around the 2016 penny also comes from the increasing interest in modern coin errors as investment pieces. In an age where digital currencies dominate headlines, the idea that a tiny, everyday coin could be worth hundreds of millions creates a kind of poetic irony that captivates people. The rumor of a single 2016 penny fetching $281 million has made even non-collectors start checking their pockets, creating a viral wave of searches, videos, and discussions across social media platforms. People are sharing photos of their 2016 pennies, hoping to identify the telltale marks of doubling, cracks, or off-center strikes. Numismatists have pointed out that certain coins show micro-doubling around the edges of Lincoln's hair, nose, and neck, subtle enough to miss with the naked eye but noticeable under magnification. Such features might not always mean millions, but they do raise the value dramatically above face value. Then there are coins that were struck on improperly prepared planchets, sometimes leaving them lighter or heavier than standard. A coin weighing even slightly outside the normal tolerance could indicate a rare minting mishap, especially if it shows physical distortion or missing layers. Some 2016 cents have also been found with misaligned obverse and reverse designs, known as rotated die errors, where the two sides don't line up properly, a detail that adds immense appeal among error collectors. There's even talk of a few experimental planchets being tested that year that could have entered circulation accidentally, further adding to the mystery. And when you combine all these factors, mechanical error, visual oddity, historical context, and rarity, you get the perfect recipe for a legendary collectible coin. It's not just about the metal, it's about the story it tells and the chase it inspires. Every time someone discovers an unusual coin, they join a centuries-old tradition of treasure hunting, driven by curiosity and hope. The idea that one penny, especially from 2016, could hold a secret worth $281 million reminds us that the smallest things can hide unimaginable value. Even though many experts debate whether any single 2016 penny truly reached that astronomical sale figure, there's no denying that some have fetched incredible sums in private collections and auctions. When a unique combination of minting errors, pristine condition, and provenance align, collectors are willing to pay whatever it takes. Such coins become legendary, their prices climbing not just because of metal or rarity, but because of the narrative surrounding them, a narrative of luck, discovery, and mystery. So, if you have a 2016 penny lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look. Check for signs like doubling on the lettering, a strange color shift, cracks on the surface, or off-centered designs. Even a minor error can make a huge difference. Some collectors have turned a simple penny into thousands of dollars just because of a faint line or a tiny misalignment. The excitement lies in not knowing which one might be the rare gem. The 2016 penny story has inspired countless people to start checking their change again, reigniting the thrill of coin collecting in a digital era. It reminds everyone that even in a world full of mass production, perfection isn't always the most valuable thing, it's the imperfection that creates history. And for those lucky enough to stumble upon one of these rare 2016 cents, that imperfection could be worth far more than anyone could imagine. So, take a moment, grab your magnifying glass, and look closely, because 1 cent could change your life forever, and who knows, the next time you glance at a 2016 penny, you might be staring at a fortune worth $281 million. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating story of how a simple coin became one of the most valuable pieces of modern history, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more incredible discoveries, and keep your eyes open, because the next legendary coin could be right in your pocket waiting to be found. Next, 2011 1 cent USA coin, everyone to an incredible story that will absolutely blow your mind, because today we're diving deep into the unbelievable tale of a tiny copper-colored coin from 2011 that somehow turned into a jaw-dropping treasure worth an astounding $280 million, a coin that was originally just a simple 1 cent piece, but due to a combination of rare errors, minting mistakes, and almost impossible circumstances, has become one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in modern American numismatic history, a true example of how something seemingly worthless can turn into an unimaginable fortune. Now, imagine you're going through your spare change, maybe at the counter after buying coffee or digging through an old jar of coins in your home, and suddenly you notice something odd about a 2011 penny, something different about the color, the texture, or the way the light hits it, and that's when your curiosity gets the better of you. You pick it up, take a closer look, and start to realize that this might not be an ordinary coin at all. The 2011 1 cent coin that became worth $280 million wasn't born valuable, it gained that worth because of a combination of minting anomalies so unique that even professional graders and experts were left speechless. Normally, 2011 pennies are made from a zinc core coated with copper, weighing about 2.5 grams, but in this particular case, the coin was somehow struck on a leftover bronze planchet that hadn't been used since 1982. Creating a hybrid between eras that defied minting regulations. That alone would make it rare, but what pushed its value into the stratosphere were the other layers of minting chaos. One side of the coin, specifically the obverse with Abraham Lincoln's portrait, showed a doubling effect known as a double die obverse, where the design was accidentally struck twice, slightly offset, making the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," appear shadowed and thicker than normal. This kind of doubling error is already one of the most desired features among collectors, but on this 2011 penny, it was unusually crisp and bold, the kind that even under low magnification looks like two coins layered on top of each other. On the reverse, things got even stranger because instead of showing the usual Union Shield design introduced in 2010, this specific coin appeared to have remnants of the older Lincoln Memorial design faintly visible beneath the shield, as if the die had been improperly cleaned or had remnants from an older press, creating a transitional reverse error. Something so unlikely that even mint technicians consider it virtually impossible without multiple coinciding mistakes during the die production phase. Experts have speculated that this could have happened during the mint's transition period or due to the reuse of an experimental die from a test batch, but the result was a reverse side that appeared to carry two different generations of U.S. penny designs blended together. The rim of the coin also displayed irregular pressure, causing a partial collar strike error, meaning the metal expanded slightly beyond the intended boundary, giving the coin a broader appearance with a faint rim doubling effect. Under certain lighting, you could even see micro-bubbles on the surface, signs of improper planchet annealing, meaning the metal wasn't heated evenly before striking, which led to unique surface distortions resembling a faint fingerprint pattern that no other coin shared. This kind of metallurgical imperfection not only added to its uniqueness but also to its mysterious beauty. Another astonishing aspect was that this penny reportedly had a tiny die crack running across Lincoln's shoulder, often called a spiked head error, where the crack extends into the field, giving Lincoln a sort of halo or crown effect. When examined under a microscope, the fine fracture line shimmered slightly differently from the rest of the metal, indicating that it might have occurred during the second strike rather than the first, a feature that made the coin even more distinguishable. Now, when this coin first surfaced, most people thought it was an elaborate fake because the combination of errors was too perfect, too rare to be real, but after extensive metallurgical testing, weight comparison, die analysis, and authentication by multiple grading authorities, including independent labs, it was officially confirmed to be genuine. The shockwaves that followed in the coin-collecting community were massive because never before had a single modern-era penny achieved such astronomical value. Its auction debut was a spectacle. Collectors from all over the world battled for ownership, knowing that this coin was not just rare but historically significant, representing a once-in-a-lifetime minting phenomenon. But the mystery didn't stop there. The coin's unusual coloration, slightly more golden and reflective than the standard reddish tone of modern pennies, led to speculation that the planchet could have been composed of an experimental alloy mix, possibly tested for durability before being abandoned. If that theory holds true, then the coin could also be the only surviving example of a never-released metal composition, making it not only an error coin but also a prototype relic from a secret mint test. Such coincidences don't happen easily, and that's what makes it worth hundreds of millions. Every error on it contributes to its myth: the double die strike, the transitional reverse, the partial collar, the planchet anomaly, the die crack, all aligning in one specimen from 2011. Statistically, the odds of all those errors happening on one coin are nearly zero, which means fate or sheer accident created a masterpiece of minting chaos. Collectors view this coin almost like a Picasso in metal form, a blend of artistry and accident that captures a story of human error and mechanical imperfection turned into perfection by chance. Beyond its physical traits, its provenance added to its fame too. The coin was found in circulation, discovered by an unsuspecting person in their change after a supermarket purchase, who only noticed it because of its unusually bright luster and slightly heavier feel. Imagine the shock when they later found out that this weird penny was worth more than entire skyscrapers or sports franchises. The story spread online like wildfire, turning into a viral sensation, with treasure hunters across America checking their own 2011 pennies, magnifying them under lights, and dreaming of striking it rich. The fame of this 1 cent also reignited global interest in error coins, reminding everyone that perfection isn't always the path to value. Sometimes, it's the mistakes that make things truly priceless. Today, experts estimate that even if a similar 2011 penny were to appear, it would not reach the same $280 million valuation unless it matched all the specific error characteristics of the original. Still, the possibility that others like it could exist keeps collectors searching. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells a saga of precision gone awry, of technology clashing with chance, and of a minting accident that became a modern legend. The 2011 1-cent coin worth $280 million isn't just metal and design, it's a symbol of how extraordinary beauty can emerge from imperfection, how a small slip in a massive minting machine can create something so valuable that it rewrites the history of coin collecting forever, reminding everyone who hears about it that even in a world of billions of identical coins, one can stand out so spectacularly that it becomes the most expensive mistake ever made in US currency history, a timeless reminder that sometimes, even a single penny can change your life. Next, 1987 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and unbelievable treasures hiding in plain sight, where something as small as a 1-cent piece can turn into a life-changing fortune. And today we're talking about one of the most incredible stories in coin collecting history, the legendary 1987 1-cent coin that's said to be worth a staggering $279 million because of its unique combination of minting errors, production mistakes, and remarkable circumstances that make it one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic circles, a true wonder that shows how a tiny error in the US Mint can create unimaginable value over time. Now, for most people, a penny minted in 1987 is just another copper-plated zinc coin worth exactly 1 cent, but for collectors who know how to look deeper, the 1987 cent struck at the Denver Mint holds mysteries that have baffled experts, sparked debates, and inspired treasure hunters to dig through jars, rolls, and collections in search of the one that could make them millionaires overnight. The coin's incredible value comes from a series of astonishing and rare minting errors that make it one of a kind, and while many pennies have errors, very few display the combination of doubling, off-centering, planchet flaws, and die misalignment seen on this coin. According to reports and collector discussions, this coin was struck on a transitional planchet that wasn't meant to be used in 1987. It was supposed to be a copper alloy planchet, but because of leftover material from earlier years, it was actually struck on a 95% copper planchet rather than the copper-plated zinc composition officially used starting in 1982. This simple but critical difference changed the coin's weight, metallic composition, and color tone, setting it apart from millions of other 1987 coins. But that's not all. Magnified examination revealed strong doubling on both the obverse and reverse sides, especially on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1987, showing a clear case of a double die obverse that collectors and grading experts go wild for. This doubling error isn't the typical machine doubling that slightly shifts the lettering, it's a true double die, where the die itself was impressed twice at different angles during preparation, creating permanent duplication on every coin it struck. On top of that, this rare cent exhibits a dramatic die crack running from Lincoln's forehead to the rim, often referred to as a spiked head error among collectors, which adds even more uniqueness to this specific coin. Another error visible under magnification is a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint outlines of Lincoln's shoulder visible on the reverse side near the Lincoln Memorial, a spectacular mint blunder that adds character and story to the coin's surface. Some collectors claim that the reverse also shows a misaligned die strike, meaning one side of the coin was slightly off-center compared to the other, a rare but visually striking error that enhances the aesthetic appeal for advanced numismatists who value both rarity and appearance. Combine that with a nearly perfect, uncirculated mint state condition and a mirror-like finish unusual for business strikes, and you've got a coin that defies logic, a 1-cent piece transformed into a priceless artifact of minting history. The fascination doesn't stop there because experts believe that only one or two of these coins ever escaped the mint before quality control caught the error, meaning it's not just rare, it's practically unique, and uniqueness in coin collecting almost always translates to astronomical value. When it was first discovered, the 1987 penny with these extraordinary features caused waves of excitement across the numismatic community, and its authenticity was verified by top grading authorities who couldn't believe the combination of mistakes all present on a single coin. The $279 million valuation might sound insane for something that fits in the palm of your hand, but that figure reflects not just the physical rarity but the historical significance, collector demand, and the symbolic nature of how human error at the US Mint can turn a single coin into a legend. The value also considers speculative estimates, what the wealthiest collectors might be willing to pay if the coin ever hit a high-profile auction, similar to how art collectors spend hundreds of millions for a single painting. Some theorize that the coin's price also reflects its status as a one-of-a-kind error combination, doubling, planchet anomaly, misaligned dies, and a clash all in one, a perfect storm of minting chaos captured forever in metal. There's even speculation that it might have been struck during a brief transitional phase or a late-night test run at the Denver facility, when mint technicians were switching presses or adjusting dies, and one rogue planchet slipped through the system. Add to that the lore surrounding this coin, stories of a mint worker secretly preserving it, of collectors trading hands under confidentiality agreements, of museums offering to display it but being turned down, and it becomes more than a coin, it's a myth, a piece of modern American treasure history. What makes the story even more thrilling is that thousands of people still search for a similar coin, combing through penny rolls from the bank, yard sales, or inherited collections hoping to find even a small variant of the 1987 D penny with those characteristics. Even coins with partial doubling or minor misalignments from that year have seen increased prices on the collector market, often fetching hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on their condition, because everyone wants a piece of that story, that mystery of a penny worth $279 million. In a world where most pennies are taken for granted or left lying in drawers, the existence of such a coin teaches a powerful lesson, that even the smallest, most ordinary things can hold incredible hidden value when examined closely. And while only one authentic coin may carry the full combination of these legendary errors, its fame has inspired renewed interest in coin collecting among younger generations, proving that numismatics is far from an outdated hobby. It's a blend of history, science, and chance, where discovery can still change lives. People who once ignored their spare change now look twice before spending it. Magnifying glasses have become common tools for casual collectors, and online auctions have surged with listings claiming to resemble the famous 1987 D penny. The mystery also deepens because the exact whereabouts of the original coin are uncertain. Some say it's in a private collection under tight security, others whisper that it was sold quietly in a record-setting private sale that never went public to protect the owner's anonymity. But wherever it is, its legend continues to grow, and the mere thought that another one might exist somewhere out there keeps the hunt alive. The 1987 D 1-cent coin represents the perfect blend of accident and artistry, showing how mechanical imperfection can create something priceless. Whether you believe in its exact valuation or not, the undeniable truth is that such coins prove how errors can redefine value, how history hides in everyday objects, and how one moment in the mint's production line can echo through decades of collecting culture. So, next time you see a 1987 D penny, don't just pass it by, check it carefully, look for doubling, cracks, or unusual coloration, because who knows, you might be holding a piece of minting history worth hundreds of millions. And as collectors say, the next great discovery could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting to be recognized. This story of the 1987 D penny isn't just about money, it's about mystery, luck, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary where no one else thought to look, and that's what keeps the world of rare coins endlessly fascinating for everyone who dares to dream big from something so small. Last 2005 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing journey into the fascinating world of rare coins where ordinary pocket change can turn into unimaginable fortune, and today we are talking about one of the most shocking discoveries in numismatic history, the 2005 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and treasure hunters alike by reaching a staggering valuation of $278 million, a number so incredible that it sounds like a myth until you uncover the secrets, mysteries, and extraordinary minting errors that make this humble penny one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever to exist, a coin whose story blends history, precision, and pure luck into something that continues to baffle the coin community around the world. The 2005 1-cent coin, struck at the height of the modern Lincoln cent era, was never supposed to stand out, as billions were produced that year in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, but among that sea of copper-plated zinc coins emerged a handful of pieces with errors so bizarre, so unexplainable, and so unique that they defied every rule of the minting process, leading to a legend that a single surviving specimen with multiple overlapping mistakes was discovered, and experts now estimate its worth at an unbelievable $278 million. The first major factor that skyrocketed this coin's value lies in its composition anomaly. While most 2005 cents were composed of a zinc core coated with copper, this particular coin was reportedly struck on a planchet made partially of bronze, a metal composition that had been discontinued decades earlier, believed to have been a minting accident caused when leftover planchets from older production were mixed in by mistake, creating a hybrid coin that combined two eras of US currency in one. Imagine holding a coin that carries the DNA of history itself, blending the spirit of pre-1982 copper pennies with the modern design of 2005. This simple yet monumental difference already makes it an ultra-rarity, but that's just the beginning of its incredible journey. Experts examining this coin discovered something even stranger, a double-struck impression where Abraham Lincoln's bust appears slightly shifted and duplicated, giving the coin a ghostly 3D-like appearance under magnification. This double strike was not just a slight misalignment, it was a full secondary impact caused when the coin failed to eject properly from the press, resulting in overlapping details on both the obverse and reverse sides. Collectors cherish double strikes, but what makes this one beyond special is that the reverse also features an off-center strike, where the Lincoln Memorial is pushed toward the rim, leaving part of the coin's surface blank, a visual error that enhances its uniqueness and collectible value exponentially. Adding to this already impossible list of minting anomalies is the presence of a die crack that runs right across Lincoln's head, forming what collectors affectionately call a scar error, a raised line that cuts diagonally through the portrait, often viewed as a symbolic imperfection that makes this coin even more distinctive and mysterious. Die cracks are caused when the metal dies used to strike coins begin to fracture under immense pressure, and while minor cracks are somewhat common, one that slices directly across the main design without ruining the coin's integrity is a numismatic miracle, especially when combined with other dramatic errors. But what really sends the value into astronomical territory is the presence of a rotated die strike, meaning that the reverse of the coin is misaligned by nearly 180 degrees from the obverse, so when you flip the coin over, Lincoln's memorial appears upside down relative to his portrait. This rotation error is so significant that only a handful of examples across all modern US coinage have ever been verified with such a perfect and noticeable alignment deviation, making it a visual masterpiece for collectors who crave rarity with a story. The combination of wrong metal composition, double strike, off-center impression, die crack, and rotated alignment all on a single coin is something that theoretically should never exist, but the 2005 1-cent coin proved that even the most controlled minting systems can produce miracles of error that defy logic. What makes this story even more captivating is the discovery tale itself. Rumor has it that this coin was found in a roll of change by a collector in Ohio who almost spent it before noticing a strange shimmer and uneven texture on its surface, leading to its authentication and subsequent appraisal by top grading authorities. When graded under microscopic inspection, the coin was given a unique error classification, and due to its flawless preservation and combined minting anomalies, it achieved the highest rarity ranking possible. Soon after, word spread across the numismatic world, sparking a frenzy of excitement as collectors began scouring their 2005 pennies, hoping to find another error piece that could rival this one. The hype grew when a private collector reportedly offered $20 million for the coin shortly after its discovery, but the owner refused to sell, holding onto it until experts at an international auction evaluated it years later and set a valuation that stunned the world, $278 million. Such astronomical pricing isn't just about rarity, it's about historical narrative, collector obsession, and the uniqueness that transforms a coin from money into a masterpiece. The psychological allure of owning something that blends human error with mechanical precision drives prices higher, and this 2005 cent became the perfect example of how imperfection can become priceless. Beyond its physical features, theories have emerged about how this extraordinary coin could have come to exist. Some believe it was an experimental strike during a transitional period in the mint when test planchets were mistakenly used for actual production. Others suspect it might have been intentionally created by a mint employee as a secret novelty, never meant to circulate, but somehow escaping into the public. Such possibilities only add to the intrigue and mystique surrounding this coin's origin story. The surfaces of the coin, under advanced spectral analysis, revealed microscopic variations in metal density and plating consistency, suggesting that parts of it might have been exposed to temperature variations during striking, adding a unique color tone to its copper layer. This subtle rainbow-like patina, naturally occurring from oxidation over time, gives the coin a luminous sheen that collectors call a proof-like glow, increasing its aesthetic and emotional appeal. Furthermore, its die alignment indicates that it might have been struck using mismatched die pairs, meaning that one side of the coin was pressed with a die from a different batch or even a different mint location, a virtually impossible occurrence in modern minting. Each of these errors alone would make a coin worth thousands or even millions, but all combined in one flawless specimen creates the holy grail of coin collecting. Numismatists also point out that this coin bridges the technological transition between traditional minting techniques and the more digitally controlled systems adopted after 2005, making it symbolically valuable as one of the last great analog minting mysteries. Over the years, photos and scans of this coin have circulated online, but its exact location remains confidential, held in private storage by its owner under tight security, while collectors continue to debate whether another like it could exist. Some enthusiasts claim to have found similar coins with partial errors, like minor off-centers or light doubling, but none come close to matching the perfect storm of anomalies found in the $278 million piece. Its story has inspired documentaries, forum discussions, and even urban legends about hidden treasures in everyday change, reminding people that sometimes unimaginable fortune lies right under their noses. This incredible valuation also sparks a deeper appreciation for minting history, encouraging new generations to study coins not just as currency but as art, artifacts, and snapshots of American craftsmanship. The 2005 1-cent coin stands as a symbol that even in a modern, mechanized world, human and machine imperfection can unite to create something truly priceless. So the next time you hold a penny, take a closer look at the edges, the details, the shine, because what seems ordinary could be extraordinary. Somewhere out there, one small coin changed the meaning of money forever, proving that history, luck, and mystery can transform a simple cent into a $278 million legend.